Hey, welcome back to Steve Horvath Fishing. Today we're going to answer a question. Why? Why is there still room for a living rubber jig in fishing? Got the other materials, soft plastics, silicones, all kinds of other stuff. But what does living rubber do for you that the others don't? Well, number one, it doesn't come in a ton of colors. Okay, so you're kind of limited to colors. So it's got to be something that's really important that living rubber will do. Now, living rubber is, like it says, it's basically alive when it hits the bottom. When this jig falls and hits the bottom, all these little tentacles on the skirt are going to undulate. It creates movement. When is that important? Well, if you look at it from just making sense, any time that this bait is spending a majority of its time, wow, can't even talk today, a majority of its time on the bottom, and in a little bit clearer water where bass can actually see that motion, and even when it's dirty, when that little bit of extra motion can be detected by the fish's lateral line, that's desirable. Now, if the fish are only eating the bait on the fall, going to flip into the bush or pitch into the bush, jig hits the water, whoo, goes down, fish eats it on the way down, living rubber does absolutely nothing for you. Okay? Nothing. Times like that, regular silicone jig catches just as many fish. But the times when the fish are eating after the jig hits the bottom, and you may be working it or hopping it a few times over that limb, and it has time to settle, living rubber gives you more action. Now, there are not a lot of living rubber jigs on the market. This one is hand-tied. It's not a big process. It's not a process where you have to be very smart. Nobody's ever accused me of being a genius. Okay? It just takes a little bit of work. Now, there's a $10 jig on the market. No, I'm not spending $10 on a jig. Or Kitech makes a living rubber casting jig. It's a very good jig if you just want to buy something off the shelf. I highly recommend you adding at least a few living rubber jigs to your selection. Whether you make them yourself or buy them from somebody else, they will catch you more fish at times. Hey, for Steve Horvath Fishing, I'm Steve.